living. Hey guys!
Hey.
So for those of you just joining in, I'm Crystal. This is my husband Eric. We are going to be talking about how to enforce commands when you are too busy. With children, life, demands of the living. It can be a bit exhausting.
Yeah, it's like
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked last week about being consistent. Like your dog's not going to be more consistent than you are if you're talking about obedience commands or just house manners. Like if you want your dog to be consistent about their behaviors, you also need to be consistent. But what about those times where you can't? Because
it's physically impossible. Because God only made us with 2 arms. I don't know why he didn't give moms 8 arms, because we could have used them all, but he only gave us 2.
Everybody could use a friend named Goro. Somebody out there got that, and if you did, post a GIF of Goro in the comments. Make my day. We'll leave it at that.
You're not gonna tell me?
Everyone needs a friend named Goro. Sounds like a good song title.
I don't know. I don't know who Goro is. But we do have so much more on our plate than we can keep up with. So this is our tips as parents and as dog trainers. We're there with you. We have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and our youngest just turned 2 on Monday.
2!
I mean,
Can
I just
you
had
believe it?
her as a little baby, and now she's 2, and she's trying to potty train, and she's getting so big.
She's getting sassy too.
Oh, and she has a sassy walk. If you haven't been following our Facebook videos of her handling some of the board and train dogs that we got coming through, watch that sassy 2-year-old dog trainer strut.
Cool.
She's got it.
All right.
So, topic, how to enforce commands that you just can't enforce. You can't. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a fraud video. No. We're editing out that fraud part. It's not really a fraud. What do you do?
This is good advice.
What do we do?
So what I do is I kind of hit myself and say, shucks, he just got away with that. And then, because I'm a mom, and you know moms, we're a little sneaky, we're a little conniving. We sometimes set things up so they can learn to fail without getting too hurt or in too much trouble. And so that's what we do with dogs. So if you have a dog that typically, let's say, gets into the trash can while you are giving bath time, expect that. You know it's gonna happen like 7 out of 10 times, or 8 out of 10 times, or 10 out of 10 times it happens. So you know there's a chance. We get sneaky, we set up multiple devices, so we'll have one phone Skyping facing the trash can, and then the other phone, I'll put myself on mute so he can't hear me and the kids in the bathroom. And if I see him getting in the trash, I can do a couple different things. You can, shout no, even though he doesn't see you. That sound of no may be enough to startle him. You can set things up in the kitchen. There are like driveway sensors, I think is what they're called. That you can maybe put like under a napkin in the trash can, so as they start rustling around in the trash can to get what they want, they uncover that sensor so the light shines on it and it makes like a siren sound, and that will kind of frighten your dogs out of there. What are some other things they can do, Dad?
To like set up a situation. I mean, if you got a dog that like goes after tissues, right?
Sure.
If you got a dog that goes after, like, just gets into a box of tissues. Honestly, I was like waiting to see where you went with this, because my brain was on break. I'm not gonna lie.
I guess my point is, when you can't enforce a command, you know that that's a weakness you have. So overcome it by being intentional for a few days or a week or 2 of being proactive and watching it, whether you're setting up a tag team, so your husband's watching the dog through the Skype videos while you're watching the kids with bath time, and if the dog is making those naughty choices, somebody can enforce from the other side, or you can even enforce by yourself. I mean, there's a lot of times as a parent that you're home alone with the kids and the dogs, and you need to be all mom for everyone and every animal in the house. And it is possible, sometimes a lot, but it's possible. And if you're proactive now, you won't have to be later. And that's the whole goal of this. That was where I was going.
Yeah. So, this may be stepping backwards, but about the tissues. About the tissues. it's clicking. Something's clicking in there. So if you've got a dog that eats tissues like all the time, you can.
Your dog needs tissues all the time. Is it ever cold?
You probably need to wipe his nose. Is really what I'm getting at. Wipe the dog's nose. Come on. He's telling you something. You just.
As parents, we have enough snotty-nosed children. We do not want snotty-nosed dogs.
Man.
Anyways, sorry.
But
Sorry.
set that up.
Yes.
So, like, when you're prepared to correct that behavior of eating tissues, drop a tissue on the floor. When you're watching out of the corner of your eye. But know that your dog is as smart as a little child. So if you just walk up to your dog...
You blow your nose, and then you just kind of like drop it and walk away. Like you didn't even know you dropped it. Oops. And that kind of sets it up. I'm a mom. I can't leave things on the floor. That just sets it up for your dog to have an opportunity to
think he's going to get away with
possibly
something.
make a bad choice. And then you can be there to be like, no, leave it. And remind him that just because something's on the floor doesn't mean it's yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever.
Are we checking comments? You keep talking. I'll check comments.
Whatever your corrector is or your interrupter for those behaviors is, make sure you have that ready. So if you're going to set up or reenact a situation so that you can address the problem with your dog, if you're using a pet convincer,
chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
And they are always going to try to
Exactly.
get that chance. So as a parent, we only have 2 eyes and 2 hands and 2 arms. It can be a bit overwhelming. There are a lot of things out there, guys and gals, that can make your life easier. Dog training, obviously nothing beats attention. Nothing beats watching your dog 100% and being there for every little mistake to say, nope, let's not do this, let's do this. Oh, what a good choice. And praising them. It's not always possible. So when you can't enforce a command, set them up to, I was going to check comments and then I started talking. Set up things to help you, right? We all need assistance. So there are teething repellents, bitter apple, fooey, that you can spritz in the trash can when you know it's going to be susceptible, like bath time before you go to bath. Don't let the dog see you, and just secretly spritz, the inside of that trash can with that bitter apple, and it gives it a very nasty taste, so that when your dog goes to eat trash, that normally tasted pretty good to a dog, it now tastes like trash. And they're like, that's gross, I don't want to eat that. And so that kind of solves your problem for you, right? If your dog doesn't want to chew or eat the stuff in the trash, then you don't have a problem. So that's one thing. The same thing with the tissues. I would take the tissue, spritz it with the bitter apple, pretend like I'm blowing my nose, but not really touch my face because bitter apple's really gross and you don't want to get it on your face because I've tasted it. It's not good. But pretend like you're going to, blow your nose and then drop it and walk away, and your dog's going to go over and he's like, score! Ew. No. I don't want that. So that's very helpful. There are also, are we still live? No. We stopped.
One of us is live.
There we go.
I'm live.
Technology,
Man,
guys. Who is a technology guru that can come out here and make sure our Wi-Fi is legit? Because it's not legit. Who is our cable company? I'm going to throw them under the bus.
Charter Spectrum
lied to us. All right. And tangent. I was about to get on Charter because we lost y'all, but we're back. We're back. So what was I talking about? Mom brain.
No, man, we were gone for like 4 seconds. You expect me to connect the dots there?
Sorry, y'all. I totally forgot my train of thought. Oh, so things to help you out. Mom assistance and dad assistance, because dads are important too. I always talk about moms and preach to my moms, but dads are here too.
We're here.
They're here. I love you.
Stop
it. You root for the dads then. That's how dads root for each other. Weird faces and fist bumps.
That's right.
So zones, I think we did a Facebook Live around Christmas time about zones, or pause away. They're called pause aways. Pause away. So like paw, like a pet paw with an S, pause.
They get it.
Away.
They're with you.
Okay.
They're tracking.
That is, like, seriously, guys, that's my all-time favorite cheat for dog pet parenting.
For like set it and forget it stuff.
Seriously. We don't want dogs in the kitchen. We set a zone in the kitchen cabinet and in the pantry so it blocks off the kitchen door frame. And it kind of works the opposite of an underground fence. As your dog starts to approach it, they get that warning beep, 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 beep. And if they don't turn around, then they do get a static stimulation to tell them, halt, go back, this is not for you. And that's amazing because I don't ever have to watch it. It does it all for me.
Super.
And the batteries last forever. You can also use it for the kitty litter box. Because, you know, we don't want to really be sitting by a cat box all day waiting for our dog to try to eat out of it. You do? What?
No. I was going to say, I think we also told them last week that we were going to talk about casual commands.
Yes, that's an important thing too.
So, what do you do? Like, let me think. So, let's say you're in your house and you want your dog to leave the room that he's in. You want your dog to come, but you don't have your leash on, or you don't have your correction tool or your interrupter tool handy. It's just like you're basically you've got no tools, you've got nothing to enforce what you want your dog to do, but you want to tell them to come. So
how to tell your dog to come without ruining the come command.
Exactly.
Because you can't enforce it.
Because if you tell your dog to come and they don't come,
you have
and you
no
keep
way
saying,
to make them.
And you're just now your come's just getting all sloppy.
Come means
your come command's getting
come if
sloppy.
you want to, instead of come because you need to come right now.
Right, because half the time you give them that command, they just do whatever they want. So it creates a huge gray area. So
and
how do we?
Is where, yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
So how do we get around that? Don't tell your dog to come. We use.
My teeth inside.
You got some in your teeth?
I got something in my teeth.
Do you want to show them what's in your teeth? Go ahead, get on up there. What you got in your teeth?
see
Something
anything in my
green,
teeth?
probably. What is that?
No, but seriously.
Yeah. Ugh. So, casual commands. Those are 2-syllable commands.
Name 'em.
So, come here, lay down, sit down.
That's really the main three.
Those are really it, because walk. There's no casual. There's no
That's
casual
like
for that.
Put that as a formal.
That's just a straight up formal. Yeah. So it's
Three.
So it's basically those 3.
You can remember 3.
It's just 3. So by adding an extra syllable, your dog differentiates that he understands what that means, but it is a different command than your formal command. So if you're in the kitchen and your dog is playing in the living room and you've got a kid over for a play date, and that kid's not like super into your dog. So you want your dog to come to you, but you don't have the leash on. You kind of got caught off guard. You got
Cooking dinner.
You got like eggs on your hand.
Raw meat. Who knows?
You're like,
you
what
can't
do I
touch
do?
anything.
You know? So don't say come, because he's probably not going to, because he's playing with this new kid, and you're over here just doing this dance. So if you say come here, your dog knows what that means.
After you teach him.
After you teach him, obviously. And that's a way that you can ask him to come here. But if he doesn't, like, your come command didn't just...
It doesn't jeopardize the come
Yeah,
command.
still, when you say come, then he's going to B-52 straight to you. But come here, it's like a...
I'd kind of like it if you do, but I don't have any... I mean, I'm not going to make you, but
Right.
here's an idea of what I want, and you can still say, no, come here. No, come here. And you can still, call him to you, but it doesn't take away from that formality of when I say come, you can only use the come command when you can enforce it. So when that day comes where you need your dog to come and you don't have a way to enforce it, and you say come, he's like, I've never had a choice to disobey
Exactly.
come. I need to come right now.
So, yeah, backtracking to last week's talk about being 100% consistent. When you
Yes,
give a
give
command,
a
you
command.
enforce it. You can still do that even when you have a situation that you know you want to ask your dog to do something, but if they don't do it,
Yep. It's okay.
your hands tied. Like, there's nothing you can do to enforce that. So, yes, you can still be 100% consistent, even though you can't. It's fantastic. And I've just thought of another scenario that people can probably relate to. Maybe you like your dog to sit when somebody's coming up to greet them or pet them, and usually they do really good about it. They sit, they get their love, and then you can release them so they're not jumping on people and going crazy. And but you're in a situation where you know it's probably not going to be really doable for your dog. Like, maybe there's like 8 kids that have like peanut butter on their face, and a mom that's going a little too much for your dog. maybe they're just not quite there. So you want your dog to sit, but there's a good chance they're not going to. And
you're setting them up for failure if you need to say sit.
So say sit down. Your dog knows what that means. They're probably going to, but
when
if
they forget their mind,
then you didn't just get inconsistent with your sit. Your sit, you're still 100% consistent with that. So when you say it and you need them to sit, boom, they're gonna sit.
So how do we use these casual commands? We use them a lot more than we use our formal commands. So if I just want to love on my dog and I don't want to say sit and have them hold it until I say break, I say sit down. If they're outside doing their business and I need them to come inside, I'll say come here. And if I'm 10 minutes late, which typically happens, I say come, and I know my dogs are going to be at my feet in 0.3 seconds. So come here just lets them finish up your business, but it's time to come inside. If we have, let's say we have company over, and another kind of casual, or we're getting into livability commands, is where we can start naming rooms and kind of teaching your dog to get back. When I say go lay down, my lay down casual command is often followed or present, or what is it? How do you say before? I say go lay down. So I often precede the lay down with a go lay down. And for me, it really means get away from me or whoever you're bothering. Because if they go lay down, great, it's a great idea. But if they don't, if they go play with their toy, that's fine too. I think that's cool. Just I need my space right now because as a mom, everybody needs me 24/7, and right now I just want 5 minutes to myself. Please go away. But
yeah, you wouldn't want to say down because
then you have to lay right down at your feet.
They've got to lay right down at your feet, and then like if you're engaged, you're talking to your company, and if they get up in 2 minutes and you didn't release them, your down command's getting sloppy.
Yeah, you lost your credibility.
Yeah.
So go lay down. So if they're sniffing on your company, or let's say you have a play date and you have kids over and they're trying to play a board game on the floor and the dogs are in the way, just tell them, go lay down, go lay down. And it just gives them an idea of what to do. The other side to this are casual commands. We also do livability commands. And these are the commands that just make our lives easier as parents. Like seriously, my sanity, y'all, is wrapped up into these commands.
We should start calling them my sanity, y'all commands.
For real. I think it might resonate more.
I just derailed you, didn't I?
You did.
We're on a roll for breaking the roll.
So livability commands. These are location commands. So if your kids are playing a board game in the living room and you were saying go lay down and your dog was still just testing those limits, you can tell them out. That means get out of this room. You can go anywhere else in the house. Out of this room. Back to the earlier problems that we presented, or challenges that you might have, like if you're doing story time with your kids, and as you're trying to read story time, your dog's trying to chew on the kids' toys, you could do an out command for that. Like, get out of this room. If you can't respect the toys in this room, you don't belong in here. Get on out. Or if you're cooking, or maybe let's say you have company eating in the dining room and the kitchen, and as much as you tell your company not to feed your dog, there's somebody that's always going to slip them something, so your dog's going to be
just one bite.
Maybe laying under the table looking for scraps.
Just a carrot.
And for that, we'd give them a selected room to stay in. We'd say living room. So we don't need any baby gates whatsoever. We just say living room, and they go and stay in there. And we have a previous video that we'll find and link in the comments for livability commands that we did a few weeks ago. Didn't we do a video on livability commands and how to enforce them? I'm pretty sure we did.
Was it live?
I thought so.
We'll look. Heck, if I can remember. I can't remember what was going on 4 seconds ago today.
Maybe I just made it up. I don't know. If we have it, we'll post it.
I'll make a note.
Make a note. But livability commands also are very, very cool. So when you can't enforce a command, don't give a formal command. That's it. And then when your dog does something, when you are like, I don't want to say pants down because that sounds bad, but when you are in the awkward moment where you can't do anything else to stop them, you know that was a mistake. It happened. We all make mistakes, right? Mistakes aren't bad. It's what we learn from the mistakes that's the most important thing. That's how we all grow. So see that was a mistake, identify it, and then say, how can I make sure this doesn't happen again? One option is to prevent it. So if you're giving kids bath time, you can put your dog in the crate. Or you can do, a couple of those tips we did before with the bitter apple, those teething repellents, the paws away, pet barrier. You can put it in the bottom of the trash can under the trash bag, so your dog just stays away from the trash bin. or the cat box, or if you don't want your dog in the kids' room because he keeps stealing all the toys and destroying them.
Because you're not supervising, because you can't all the time.
It's impossible.
Maybe.
You can set a zone there. There are just so many tools out there that were created because we all know how crazy life can be. And then if all of that still isn't enough, that doesn't mean your dog's not trainable. Just means you might need help from a professional. That's why we're here. That's what we do. So if you have those challenges, let us know. We can fix it. We do it every day with so many of our family dogs that come to us that have very naughty, bad habits. And after working with them for private lessons or board and trains, they go home the same dog, but well behaved and mannered. And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all
We're still working on training our kids, but we're really great at training dogs.